Well, these are revolutionary times, and I'm only saying that because I'm so sick and tired of hearing these are unprecedented times. Before COVID happened, we had a huge uptake in digital drop-off booths. And if you're not familiar with what a digital drop-off is, it's when you literally go set up the booth, leave it there, and then come back and pick it up later. So your attendant doesn't stay around or anything, and the booth is run exclusively by the guests. These were really great for longer events, especially ones that maybe didn't have the budget for a full-blown photo booth that had an attendant where the event was 6 to 8 hours long. Or if you had a conference where you had staggered hours, where maybe they were in a conference for 2 hours and then there was a 1 hour break where they'd be using the photo booth and then another 2 hour conference and another hour break. This is where these drop-offs became really popular. Now you are probably thinking that drop-offs are meant for the cheaper clientele, but really they can range in price. We had digital drop-offs that started off at $850 and some that rented out for $3,000 for the same amount of time. It really just depends on the activation and what kind of features they're looking to have with their photo booth. My name is Catalina and I am the owner of Modern Photobooth Company, and this is the Photobooth Supply Co. YouTube channel where we talk about all things photobooth business related. To date, we've covered how to safely do attended booths during a COVID era of events, and I will link that around here somewhere. And we also did a video on clauses that you should consider adding to your contract now that COVID is around, and I'll link that at the end of this video. But today we are going to be talking about digital drop-offs and why these are ideal for events that are happening right now. People are gathering, it's happening, we're seeing it in the forums. People are talking about how they're booking events and how people are having these smaller micro weddings. They are hiring photo booths for it too. But right now there's a lot of restrictions on how many people can actually attend these events, and I really doubt that a photo booth attendant is top priority on the guest list. This is just one scenario where doing a digital drop-off would be perfect for a situation like that where you have to limit the number of humans that you have in a room. The other option, which is my main reason for wanting to do more of these, is that even though people are gathering, that is their choice. They are deciding that they want to gather with these people, but I don't really want to send my staff or myself out to these events. So some people are going to be comfortable gathering and some aren't. Doesn't mean they shouldn't have a photo booth, but I don't want to be there. At first, I was really scared to leave my beautiful photo booth unattended with a room full of drunk people. But now I literally love it. It saved my sanity in the 2019 holiday season because it was so crazy busy and we just didn't have enough staff to run all of these events. But the majority of our events ended up being drop-off, so we were able to do multiple events in one night without having to have people dedicated to like 6-8 hour events all at once. The first step to keeping your equipment safe is to have a nice big safety deposit. Now we actually charge people's credit cards $800 because this is a large enough amount that people are actually going to care. Now you can also do a hold, which is similar to what hotels do when you check in, and you can do that using Stripe. So we actually take a full payment through Square, and then as soon as the booth comes back and we've checked it and everything is good, then we will return the full amount. Step 2 is going to be a contract requirement because let's be honest, $800 isn't going to cover your photo booth and your iPad or whatever system that you're deciding to use to leave at an event. So in your contract, you want to have a clause that stipulates exactly how much they're on the hook should something happen, like your photo booth is completely destroyed. We usually have a clause in there that states something along the lines that they are responsible for a maximum amount of up to $5,000 for one of our digital booths, since that will cover the majority of the cost to replace the photo booth. You might think that your insurance policy covers this, but nope, think again. 99% of insurance policies actually will not cover your photo booth while you are not there with it, or one of your employees, of course. That's because there's a specialized type of insurance that you can buy when you are renting out your equipment as an equipment rental. Our most basic rental, like bare bones, is $850 for 6 hours, and that includes the setup and tear down, obviously delivery of the photo booth itself, a backdrop. They have to pick from our standard screens, but they do get a custom template and they will get the option of photo, GIF, or boomerang. And I know you guys are all wondering, how the heck did we get a rental that was $3,000 if most people are going for the $850 package? Well, people are going to want these rentals at their event. And remember how I mentioned before that there's trade shows and conferences that have a rolling schedule? Well, one, these are usually run by very high-end and big companies that want all the branding in the world. So every item that we have in our photo booth is actually an upsell. So they get the base package at $850, and then if they want custom screens, that's an additional cost. We have custom backdrops, that's an additional cost. If they want green screen removal, guess what? Additional cost. Now, because all of these items are going to build up a bigger package, that's how we end up having a photo booth that's $3,000, but it's still a digital drop-off and I still don't have a person there. We've even run into a situation where they had such high security that they didn't physically want one of our staff there in case they overheard any of the stuff that they were discussing, because this company was having their annual meeting where they discussed all of their new products that they're launching. If you're more curious about how we do our pricing, you should check out the Academy, which is available on the Salsa app. It was just released and it's a series of in-depth videos about how to run your photo booth business. Now, if you're not a Salsa subscriber yet, go and check it out. I'm gonna link it below, and you get a 30-day free trial, which will give you access to all of these videos until June 19th. Now, again, June 19th is when the free trial version ends for Academy. So if you continue to pay, you'll get access to all those videos. But in there, there's a video called Pricing, and I break down exactly how I do all of my pricing, and I even give you guys an interactive calculator where you can put in your information and get your own pricing and build it out the same way we do. Now, of course, what if something goes wrong? I mean, it's technology. It can't be perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. And it doesn't matter how many times you tell someone not to unplug the booth, they're still gonna unplug the booth. So here's what we do. Whenever we have an event, we set up, and obviously we have control about where the photo booth actually gets set up. So we won't set it up in front of a window, we won't set it up outside unless we're under a tent, and we can control the lighting, and we definitely won't set it up anywhere where there's a high traffic area. So we wanna make sure that we control the lighting, and then of course we set our camera and then we go. Now, because Salsa app is also available on your computer or even on your iPhone, we can monitor the gallery to make sure that everything is going well. Now, if something were to happen and the client notifies us, they do have a phone number that they can call us, where we generally just walk them through the troubleshooting document that we gave them at the beginning of the event anyways. And 9 times out of 10, that solves any of the issues that they were having. And a couple of more clauses that you're gonna want to consider putting into your contract, just in case something does go wrong, is one, what is the definition of a functioning photo booth? Is it a photo booth that takes pictures? Is it a photo booth that prints? For us, it is a photo booth that can take and save a picture, because I can always print pictures after the fact if the printer were to go down. But for the record, we do not do drop-off booths with printers. We only do them digitally. The second clause is minimum requirements from your client. Now, this is going to include things like power or the ability to not have the plug taken out. The most important thing that you can do for a digital drop-off, though, is to have guided access on your photo booth. There's a very specific way that you want to set up your iPad so that when you do drop it off, people can't swipe or pinch or do anything to get out of the photo booth program. And let me tell you guys that kids are really smart, because I also once had a permanent install FaceTime me while I was on vacation, and when I answered the phone, I was staring at Starbucks. I am going to link another article below in the comments, which actually will walk you through all of the settings you need to look at on your iPad to make it as secure as humanly possible so that people cannot screw with your photo booth once you've set it up. I could literally ramble on about this topic for hours, and I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to leave you guys with a few more tips that I think are really important for us to cover before I let you go. Of course, because of COVID, you want to make sure that your booth is nice and clean, so clean your booth before and after you pick it up using alcohol or any type of disinfectant that will get rid of all of the fingers that have touched your booth, and that way you're not cross-contaminating through events as well. Now, you're probably wondering, what about people having cross-contamination while the booth is actually running at the event? And this is a good opportunity for you to have a clause in your contract. And again, I'm going to link to that video that talks about all these clauses, but it is a COVID liability waiver. And if you click on that video, I'll give you a little bit more information about that at the end of this one. Make sure you clean your lens and that you check all of your camera settings before you leave. As always, if you found this video to be helpful, please hit subscribe and like. And I love reading your comments, so please don't be shy. Add some comments in there, and if there's anything you'd like me to cover, please put it in there as well.